Hello friends, welcome back to Aunt Debbie's Boutique. If you're new to the channel, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. The purpose of this channel is to teach beginners beginning sewing. So all the projects that we do in these videos are very simple ones. I try to devise patterns that will be as few steps as possible to encourage the beginning sewer to be able to still make nice things. Today's project is going to be a small wallet. This wallet can hold your cards and your cash and would fit in a pocket or in your purse or whatever. Okay, what we're going to need is an outside fabric, a lining fabric, some lightweight interfacing. This is Pellon 911 FF. Another good one is SF 101. And then your pattern piece. Now this will be available on my website. But if you would like to draw your own pattern, I purposely drew it out on this graph paper, 1-inch graph, so it'd be easy to see. This is 4 inches here and another 3 inches on top of that in the middle section. And each one of these are 5 inches. This, you start a 1/2 inch in and taper to 2 inches. And then you want to round your corners. So if you'd like to draw your own, feel free to. Otherwise, you can purchase the pattern on my website. Okay. You're also going to need some type of closure. In this one, I used a cam snap, and that's what we're going to use today. These are the cam snaps. They come in multitude of colors and the gadgets to put them on with. You can also get this at like Hobby Lobby or any place that sells jewelry and purse hardware. This is a little metallic clip, and the worst part about it is you have to put it on early instead of at the end when you've got everything lined up, or the ugly back will show. So I don't prefer that for what we're making today. And this is another type of snaps that you can use. Okay, the first thing we're going to do move everything out of the way here. I want to make a note here that the lining has to be a mirror image of the front, since this is not symmetrical and the same on both sides, so that when you put the wrong sides together, they match up. And the interfacing needs to also be a mirror image to the front so that it adheres to the back of your outside. Now, I cut this a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides so that when we make our seams, we don't have all this extra bulk in them from the interfacing. So you just lay it on the reverse side of your fabric, of your outside fabric, and then follow the manufacturer's instructions. Please ignore the panting dog. I'm babysitting for my daughter. And this one says not to use steam, but just to press it and hold it in place. Okay, now then, the next thing we're going to do is put right sides together, and we're going to leave about a 4-inch opening. Let's see if I can find my pen. There it is. In the center, just from about here to here, we're not going to sew that. But we're going to pin it all the way around and then sew right up next to the interfacing all the way around. All right, let's go to the sewing machine and stitch it all the way around. I'm using a dark colored thread and the size 11 needle, and I have my stitch length set at 2.5. I have a dark colored thread in because my outside is dark colored. I have a size 11 needle, and I'm going to stitch right up next to this interfacing all the way around, leaving this gap open in the middle. I'm going to back stitch a little bit before I take off and at the end. Okay, now that we've stitched all the way around here, except for the piece we need left open to turn it, I'm going to clip off my corners, kind of trim them up, but being careful not to cut through the seam I sewed. Then I'm going to clip these two corners like so. And around the curved part, I'm going to use my pinking shears and cut fairly close. I'm just going to go ahead and do this part too. But only the curved part is necessary. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and kind of turn this part back in anticipating of needing it done that way whenever I turn it. I might even give it a little press. Now then, let's turn it inside out. And make sure we get our corners nice and square. I'm going to take a pin to help pull out my corners. And this is the way it's going to go to make 2 pockets. But first we're going to top stitch all the way around, then we'll come back and sew our last 2 seams. So let's go back to the sewing machine. I'm going to top stitch about 1/8 inch away from the edge. Steam that real good. Cut off any loose threads. I don't know how I always end up with more threads than I started with. Now then, we turn in the square or the rectangular piece first. Then this piece comes across the top of it, just like that. I'm going to pin it there, and we're going to top stitch. Let me make sure I've got this all the way to the edge. Yes, we do. Pin it there to make sure, because you want to catch it in your seam. We're going to top stitch here, here, and here. Let's give it a little press before we go over there so our seams are nice and relevant. Okay, back to the sewing machine. This time I'm going to stitch about 1/4 inch. back stick's a little extra right here, so that doesn't come undone easily. Now we just need to take it back over to the ironing board, give it another press, and put our closure on it. Okay, let's give this one good press. And then we need to put our closures on it. Now you can use purse hardware, but a lot of those have an ugly back, so you'd have to like hot glue a button or something on top of them. Or you can use, I'm going to use cam snaps, or you could use just a regular hand sewn in snap. I also ordered these from Amazon that are snaps that are a little less conspicuous, but it came with 0 instructions, of course, because it was made in China. And I'm going to have to figure it out before I try to demonstrate it. So I want to mark the center of this and then go about 1 inch down, up, down, whatever, 1 inch from the edge. And then I use my little awl here that will put a hole in it. And I put the pointed side there. And I like to put the male part on top. Then put it in the little device and squeeze it really hard. Okay, so it also doesn't hurt to put a little extra interfacing behind it, but we have 2 layers of fabric and 1 layer of interfacing, so that should be enough. Then if I press it down really, really hard on here, it'll leave an indentation. Yeah, right there of where that needs to go. Now this time you only want to go through this top layer. And the little pointed side's going to come from the back side. And then we rest the snap part on this side. Line it up in our gadget. And squeeze really hard again. And the center of that should flatten out. Now we have our final product. I pulled a few cards and business cards to show you could stick your cards there and you can put cash back here or whatever you like. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it. I will have a pattern up on my Etsy shop, AuntDebbiesBoutique.com, sometime this week. And so if you don't want to make your own pattern, that you can just purchase that one for $2.50. On Wednesday of this week, we are going to learn how to add a wristlet, a wristband, so you could carry this on your wrist, or you could put it on a keychain, attach your keys to it. And we're going to learn how to make a real small little zipper pocket to put on the back. So that's going to be our advanced training, is learning to do a zipper and the wristlet part of this. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I would appreciate it if you would please like and subscribe. It helps me to be able to bring more videos to you. And remember, whatever you do, do it to the glory of God. Thank you.